what's going on out there, everybody? Live on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube. It is the ShakeBack Sports OT. It's your boys, Cory Ellison. What's going on?
What's good, fam? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday it is. Willie Epting Jr., man, just in case you didn't know who we are. Like Biggie said, if you don't know,
now you know, baby.
That's right. The live show, or the regular show rather, has just concluded. It will be on the 12s and 6s, Saturday and Sunday, on the network, TuneIn app, bgcsports.net, as well as Simple Radio. And you can tell your smart speaker to tell Alexa rather to hey, play BGC Sports, and that's where you'll find us. This is the podcast version, and it is going straight to iTunes as well as Spotify and Google Podcasts. Very, very excited about that. And in case you missed it in the first or in the regular show, we ain't gonna tell you nothing that we talked about. You got to go and listen to it.
Exactly.
There you go, Cory. What's good, man? What's good on this Friday?
Man, just finna get ready to go watch my son play here in a little bit. They got a basketball tournament. They won their first round, so got their second round game tonight at 7:00 against Liberty Christian. So anxious to get out there and see what my man gonna do.
Already, and I can't wait to get out there and check him out. I saw London a little bit earlier when he came in, and he looking like he is still tall as a weed, and I can't wait to get out there to see him too. So, man, a lot of great balling going on in the Ellison household, man, these days. You got one in college and one in high school, and looking for championships and scholarships at the same time.
Absolutely. Trying to get that school paid for, man.
That's right. All right, man. So let's get to it in this OT. Roy Jones Jr., the Headbussa, the former Headbussa, and Iron Mike Tyson in the exhibition match this past Saturday on pay-per-view. I saw some of the fight, and from what I saw, it was towards the end of the fight. And to me, they look like two dudes that had just got done arguing about who was going to drink the last 40 and started fighting. And when they were fighting, they looked like they were washing clothes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
You saw the fight, all of it, correct?
Yes.
Talk to us about it.
Man, the absolute best part of this fight was Snoop Dogg's commentary. Man, this dude was so funny, man. That's the part I enjoyed the most. The Mike Tyson, Roy Jones hug fest, it wasn't that good. The Nate Robinson.
Wait. Don't get to that yet. Not yet.
Well, the best part of the fight for me, based on what we're talking about right now, was Snoop Dogg, man. His commentary was ridiculous, and he just had me laughing the whole night.
Well, you know, Snoop Dogg is he's now appearing in Corona commercials. He's commentating on fights. He's been on multiple sports shows on different networks. So needless to say, he's expanding his territory. Oh yeah, him and Martha Stewart got that Tostitos green stuff commercial together. So Uncle Snoop ain't just Uncle Snoop no more. Uncle Snoop is the entrepreneur. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
but
sir.
As far as me, man, from what I could see at the end of the fight, it kind of looked like they didn't want to really hit each other, and I was surprised that it actually went the distance. But when you talked about the rules on the last episode of the OT, Cory, you said that anybody got cut, the fight was going to stop immediately. And if anybody got knocked down, the fight was going to stop immediately. But my thing was this: Mike Tyson wasn't training like he was just trying to go out there and shadow punch with the dude. He was training like he was going to knock him out. And a lot of people, including myself and you too, because we both said it last week, that we were scared for Roy Jones Jr. And he survived. And I thought the interview at the end was also pretty funny because I forgot who it was that was doing the interview with him when they were standing at the top of the platform on the stage, and they were asking Roy Jones Jr. about not having fought in, whatever, how many amount of time it was. And Mike Tyson said, well, why y'all so worried about him? He just stopped fighting 3 years ago. My ass hasn't fought in 13 years or whatever it was. And he was like, y'all should be worried about me. The names were once box office names, but on the scale, man, do you think it was worthy of a pay-per-view and watching it? The fight itself?
No, it wasn't. Even though it was $49.99. Like I told you before the fight even happened, if I would have had to pay for it, I wouldn't have paid for it. So no, it wasn't.
All right. So he wanted to get to this part, and we got to get to this part right now because Nate Robinson, former NBA point guard, played with the New York Knicks and a host of other teams. The Boston Celtics, won a slam dunk championship as well. 5'9". Cory, when he was in high school, he was actually a parade All-American quarterback. And so he was one of those types of athletes that was just freakish in nature, being only 5'9" and can get up. So Nate Robinson has made his way into the land of boxing. And it didn't fare too well for him, did it, Cory?
No, sir. Not at all. He bit off more than he could chew, man.
Literally, almost literally, because the way that he was laying on that ring, like he was trying to chew up some of the canvas.
Man, boxing is not a game, man. You just can't wake up out your sleep and say, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go box." Man, you gotta have skill. You gotta be tactical. You gotta know how to move. You gotta know how to get inside your opponent's body. He couldn't do none of that, man. He was swinging wild. Like I just don't get it, man. For all the noise that he was talking, I don't get it. At this point, Nate Robinson can't talk bad about nobody. He can't try to cap on nobody because for the rest of his life,
all you gonna see is
exactly, exactly, man. Jake Paul ain't no joke, man. That dude is stout. He takes it seriously. You can tell. Now, I think he may be biting off a little more than he can chew, asking for the people that he's asking for to fight next. I don't know if you're ready for Conor McGregor and all the other people you're asking for. Maybe he is. I don't know. But what we saw, man, of Nate Robinson, RIP to Nate Robinson in the boxing realm. I hope he never get back in the ring again. But like I said, what made that fight, man, was Snoop Dogg and his commentary every time Nate got dropped. His "Oh Lord," it was comical, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that part, seriously.
So is this one of those things that could I don't know, man, with that whole ordeal? I mean, did they really?
Oh my God! Did you see that?
Oh, it just came out of nowhere, didn't it? It just came out of nowhere. I mean, like Siri for real is like.
So that wasn't plotted. That wasn't planned.
No, not at all. I'm telling you, man, it's like it just came out of nowhere. And in case you didn't hear that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the "Did you see that?" Sounder that we play or that we have in the segment during the regular show. But for some reason, it showed up here out the blue.
Right on time, actually.
Yeah, even better. Mm-hmm. So anyway, did they even get paid? They didn't get paid for this, did they? Or did they?
Nate Robinson and Jake Paul?
Right.
I believe they did. I don't know how much, but yeah, I think they did get paid for it.
Well, good for them. Good for Nate because he got a check for going to sleep, and that's the American way.
I want to say it may have been like $500,000.
Right. Well, once again, there you go. That's the American way. All right, man. So we're gonna move on and talk. There was a big deal that happened in college football, man, and I thought it was tremendous. And got to give props to the Vanderbilt Commodores in their SEC game this past week, where they had Sarah Fuller actually come in and kick off in the second half. She's a soccer player on the Vandy's women's team. I thought it was another historic moment in an otherwise historical year. I mean, it was just that fitting to me. And anybody that has an issue with this story, you need to check your ticker, because walls are being broken, barriers are being broken, traditions are being changed, and all kinds of stuff are being torn down. Cory, what were your thoughts? She's only the third, I think she's the first kicker to ever participate in a Power 5 football conference or Power 5 conference football game, but I think she's either the third or fourth women's player to play in a college football game, period. What are your thoughts, man, on Miss Sarah getting out there and getting her kick on?
Man, I definitely echo your sentiments regarding that. I just think it's wonderful, the power that our women have in the United States these days, from women in the NBA, reffing and coaching, same thing in the NFL, Kamala Harris, and now this young lady kicking for, a Power 5 football team. They just keep breaking down barriers, man, and I'm happy to see it. We should all be equal, regardless of race, color, gender, however you want to say it. So big props to her, man, and big props to Vanderbilt, even giving her that type of platform to do that.
Agree. And do you know that she was actually named Special Teams Player of the Week?
Yes, I saw that.
Even more awesome. So in a year, I mean, the 2020 or the year of 2020 has brought us so many things, that we've never seen before, including the pandemic and the stoppage of all sports across this nation and across this world. It seems as though, Cory, that with stories like this, at least we are ending the year on a much better note than we started. Because if you think about the first major news that we got, and that was the helicopter crash that involved Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna and the rest of those people on that aircraft. That's where it started, and it has gone downhill ever since.
I agree.
All right, so talk a little college football playoffs, man. Playoffs, yeah. Look, this college football season for me, man, has been really, really tough to keep track of. I've been keeping my eye on it, particularly here in the latter stages of the season. But the current college football rankings have Alabama at number 1, Notre Dame at number 2, Clemson at number 3, Ohio State. No, that's not right. Yeah, that is Alabama at number 1, Notre Dame at number 2, Clemson at number 3, and Ohio State at number 4. What's miraculous about this, Cory, is that Ohio State has only played 4 games and Notre Dame has played 9. That's crazy in itself. And down on the other end of the poll, if you will, USC, Washington, Oregon, 3 and 4 games there. And, there's been a lot of cancellations. There's been a lot of postponements, but the brain trust of the college football entity, if you will, are dead set on getting this thing completed. Any issues with this top 4?
I really don't see how you can put Ohio State there, like you said, with only playing a few games. For me, man, I really haven't had any motivation to watch college football this year just because of everything that's going on and how COVID has just pretty much torn it apart. I really don't know how you're going to come out with, the top 4 seeds going forward. So for me, I really can't say because I really haven't paid that much attention to college football this year, like I usually do in other years.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because when you do watch the games, it looks very weird because there's no people there.
Yep.
There's no student section. And to me, that is what sets apart college football from the NFL. Not just the play on the field, but the exuberance of the fans in the stands. And, unfortunately, what I have been finding out for me personally as a fan, that I get I get some energy and motivation from watching the fans act the fool in the stands and then having an effect on the play on the field. So I'm with you there. But in terms of these 4 teams, look, I know Notre Dame beat Clemson a few weeks ago. Clemson did not have Trevor Lawrence, and it was a close game. And the game was played at South Bend, where the Irish's home stadium is, the Golden Domers. They're going to meet again. They are going to meet again in the ACC title game. And I think with Trevor Lawrence being back in the lineup, it's going to be a different story. But what do you do? Because you're going to have Clemson that's going to have a loss, and you have Notre Dame that's going to have a loss. So how are you going to tell who is going to be the one that they select? I guess it depends on it. Well, if Clemson wins and they win handedly, then I guess they'll give it to Clemson based on who lost later last. And
points.
Yeah, that's unfortunate as well. And then with Alabama, they're steamrolling towards the SEC championship. And prayers up, man, for Coach Nick Saban. He had a positive COVID test. He did experience some mild symptoms, but it's all expected that he's going to be back real soon. Ohio State sitting there at number 4, led by Justin Fields at quarterback. Texas A&M is in there. Florida is in there, and Georgia is in there. So you have 4 teams in the top 9 from the SEC, and I think Cincinnati is going to be on the outside looking in. They are undefeated, but they play in a non-Power 5 conference. Although they do have one of the best defenses in the country, there, Cory, and they have the best team that they have had since Brian Kelly, who's now at Notre Dame, was there. And I remember Marty Gilliard, where was one of their wide receivers. He was an All-American and was a terrific talent. All right, man. So you got anything else, man? Because we winded down the OT, man. Got anything else?
Well, since we brought up boxing, just want our people and our listeners out there to go out and support our guy this week, local town home hero, Errol Spence Jr., fighting Danny Garcia this coming Saturday. So just want to remind people of that, man. Rooting for the guy. I don't know if any of y'all have seen his preparation and the story that he did after he had his car crash, which if you look at it, man, he's blessed to have walked away from that and being where he is. So that's it, man. Just go support the local hometown boy, man. And let's try to get this win.
Yeah, and he definitely has a ShakeBack story in itself. I'm glad you brought that up, Cory. That tremendous car wreck that he had last year, a little more than a year ago, actually nearly killed him. And he was in the hospital for a while, and here he is back in the ring doing what he loves to do. All right, man. So that's going to wind it down for this episode of the ShakeBack Sports OT. Make sure y'all download OT ShakeBack as well as Spotify and Google Play, and also subscribe to our YouTube page. For Cory Elson, it's Willie Upton Jr., man. We out.
See, I made